Hi, it's Xavier, and I'm at the patio end of the garden with a bit of a throat tickle, and I literally just waited for this moment for that noise to start, and it's wonderful. I imagine they'll go all afternoon. Anyway, regardless of the noise in the background, I do apologise. I know sometimes my sound issues can be a bit of a distraction, so I apologise for that. I'm going to try and avoid putting the background music on as well. Someone's has suggested that might be a good idea, so we'll see. Let me know what you think if you do or don't like the background music. I'm going to try and get one of these collar microphones, but like all things, they cost, and much as I'd love to just rush out and buy it because it would help your viewing experience, I have to wait until Google AdSense lets me know I can afford to do it. So I'll apologise ahead for any issues that you may be finding with my production. Yesterday I had all the drama with finding out that my junipers have got Red Cedar Rust. And I thought, on the off chance you might actually know something about this, Jason, because I don't.
Now, I've seen this before. I've got a small juniper that had this on it, and this is actually apple cedar rust, and it's a fungal infection on the tree. But it's a fungal growth which is within the branch, and this is the fruiting body of it. And this is a close-up of what that looks like in this current state. And I think when it first comes out from the branch, it's a very bright orange colour.
I got some good advice from Susan Bossard, also Jason Hanahan of the Bonsai Garden. Correctly identified it. It is a bit of a nightmare. I then went online and saw that Bjorn of ICN, I hope I said that right and didn't butcher it, did a short 6-7 minute video on it. Bottom line, Red Cedar Rust is a fungus, a nasty one. I think they call it bonsai herpes, because once you've got it, you can never quite get rid of it, although you can obviously reduce the signs of it. But it starts off in the juniper of the eastern red cedar, which is also, I think it's Juniper virginius or Virginia, which I discovered I happen to have quite a few of, and it also hits the Rocky Mountain juniper. If you've got a chinensis, which will cover your Iotoagawa, stuff like that, then it doesn't hit any of the other junipers. But it seems that a lot of the ones I've got, it hits. Now, I've had my junipers since 2016, never ever had a problem with them. But I have overwintered them generally over the last few years next to all my crab apples and apples. And unbeknownst to me, the two are symbiotic partners for this horrible thing. The initial signs of it come up on the juniper. And actually, if we close it in now, you can see on the actual main trunk of this one, there's this horrible orangey sort of stuff. It hasn't developed the science fiction monster proportions, but this is basically the spores, and they'll go out. They will then land on other junipers of the same type, or indeed apple fruiting species, but it seems to be of the rose, the apple varieties. And then the following year, the apple will show up with the red spot or whatever that comes from it, and you end up losing probably most of the crop there. It doesn't actually seem to kill the trees or the junipers. It's just pretty darn ugly, and for a bonsai, not desirable. I've got to take some pretty radical action, and the recommendation is to remove, wherever the site is, take it down at least 6 inches below, which for this particular example is a bit of an issue. Although I don't have a love of junipers, I also don't like having to dispose of material so quickly and easily. But I've also got a lot of apples, and I do not want this to continue to spread. The other thing he suggests as a preventative in the early spring, before the actual spores open up, certainly on your fruiting trees, on your apple, and so before your bud bursts, is use Immunox or a liquid copper wash. They seem to be the only two solutions that seem to be coming up as an alternative, regardless of the other stuff that's out there on the market. Immunox apparently costs £82 for a squirty bottle. That's sort of out of my range. So I'm going to do the first part, which is cut it away or remove the really badly infected plants, and the copper one is £32-34, but that seems to be better suited to the to spraying on your apples. Yeah, I am gutted, but different years, different problems. You know, you want to get into bonsai or any plant stuff, you've got to be aware that sometimes you have to roll with the punches. So I'll wear a grin, and we're going to start cutting this stuff away. But just to give you a better idea, we'll do some close up on it now. There's the spores, and I think from there, I know what's happened. I've already wiped that down thinking it was bird poo or some plum or something that had fallen on it. So that's the stuff. And guttingly enough, having gone through all the effort of rewiring and getting it into a new pot, probably best to show you how it shows up when it's what you call virulent, and how it looks in its science fiction-y monster situation. That's normally a bright orange. It's already a couple of days on, and I'd imagine by now the spores have already spread. So I'm going to be cutting that all away, either burning or certainly keeping it away from the rest of my stuff. Yeah, but very unhappy. I've discovered on 6 of my trees, including this one there, which has been subject to a number of videos. I might well be able to salvage that, but we'll see. Now, what I will say is whatever colours I use will get disinfected after use. Obviously I won't do any pruning of anything I don't want, but anything that's dead can go now, and I just need to have a look and make sure that there's nothing at all elsewhere on this tree before I make a decision. On this one I'm going to try something a bit different. Anywhere where it could possibly form or be is going to be removed, and there's no sign of it on the rest, so it's literally here. I'm going to try something different with this. I'm going to put it in quarantine, which means somewhere else at the bottom of the garden. I'm going to scrub that off and then see if I can make a dead wood. I'm going to actually remove all the bark from there and then see what lives. So I'll do that last. There's the offending material. Now the difficulty is knowing whether or not it's actually spread by contact. Now what I do know is once it manifests itself, although I don't know, the spores may travel onto another juniper, it needs to have the interaction with the symbiotic tree, which is the apple. So if it doesn't show up anymore, I would imagine the next year nothing will show up on this. So it's about keeping those two apart from now on as well. Again, in comments please, if anyone has more experience of it. I don't want to completely do away with it, so that has no signs of anything else on it. Although, no, tell a lie, up there. So I'm going to go through. I mean, look, this one. I mean, the good thing this tree is, this is literally all over it, and they're like these upright spores. So that's a goner straight away. And I've got to be careful, of course, because I'm touching it. I mean, although the tree itself is obviously already infected, but okay, it doesn't appear to be anything on that. That has had it on that branch, so I'm just gonna, it's too slick. Tell you what, it's certainly going to help me with some decisions on this one. And as I say, this isn't started. I'm not going to muck about with this. Whatever's left will be help me make a decision. Could be something down, just down this height. Going up further. Alright, well, I don't think about anything else on that. Okay, so we look at this one, which I think the new front was going to be around about there. I've done a lot more wiring and brought it forward, but I can already see up here. Here, this branch, we're fine. This branch, we're a goner. It's trying to work out, I must have a look and see what the actual spores look like before they've opened up, because the next time I'll get to see this will be in the spring, possibly in 2 years' time. So far, it seems to be alright. I haven't lost too much on this one, so we've, right, there you go, branch there with the orange. Now that's next door to these two, so we'll see whether something comes up on those. Okay, I've got nothing more there. Alright, this is the dangerous part. Again, looking right back here, right on the branch end. That's a pretty important one. Well, at least we could fill it with that. I didn't realise that all the brown tips, when you pull the brown tips off, they're the sheaves covering the new growth. So there's lots of new budding on this, that's for sure. Here, some under there. Let's take it right back. All right, I think we've come out all right on this one for now. This one I'll do the restyling later in the year, and we'll see. I mean, this is my opportunity to monitor just how this works. This Red Cedar Rust. Okay, now we've got this one, which is one of my original junipers that I've had for ages, but I've never really quite known what to do with. Thought about going that as being the new, get rid of some of this dead wood. Desperately needs a repot. That stuff's all on that branch. So that's a goner branch already. Which means okay. Any signs at all? That's looking all right there. Right there, obviously a load of it there. No sign on that branch, so I'm just going to see what happens. I would imagine that's infected, to be honest. In fact, it's on this branch there. I think we're going to accept that's a goner. It's on that branch. In many ways, the fact that I'm going to have to lose so much foliage is going to make redesign easier, and without joking too much, I think Tony's Literati challenge may well open up for a few of these. And I know the gloves are technically infected as well, so as I spread it, I'm probably spreading it around the tree, but from what I understand, the chance of the whole tree's got it and it just appears in different places. That's as much as I need to do. The dangerous damage carnage is down there. That will get disposed of very, very carefully. I've got a few other junipers I need to keep an eye out on, but I think if they haven't shown the sign of the spores, or I think that shows a gall at the beginning of spring, then I'm alright for this year. I'm going to, as I say, give them a really thorough hosing down, keep them well away from the fruiting trees. There's one that I'm going to try and carve the trunk out and see if I can create a shari and remove the unsightliness of it there. So yeah, but apart from that, I'm going to have to invest in this Immunox. That seems to be the only one that certainly the bonsai enthusiasts, and if Bjorn says that's the stuff to use, then that is it at 82 quid a shot. But if some of these are coming on, the last thing I want to do is to have them causing further issues with other trees in my garden. Anyway, that's Red Cedar Rust. To say it won't affect your Itoagawa or Chinensis, any of that sort of stuff. It is your red eastern cedars, Rocky Mountain juniper, basically. You've seen what I've done. We'll see how that reacts. I will keep you updated if there's any changes. I think I'll be looking next spring with the Immunox to apply it. But from Xavier at the patio end of the garden, about to disinfect his cutters and stuff, I'll say thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you don't find the same problem yourself. All the best, God bless. Cheers.